Emmanuel Crawford is a record-setting high school running back in Grove, Oklahoma, and a Gatorade Player of the Year. You'd expect his rare explosiveness and vision, but not Emmanuel's early childhood start. That led to a unique, elaborate match of one's longing for family and another's desire to adopt.
This family in Grove and enslaved kid in Ghana come together. That is God.
At age 3, Emmanuel was sold by his birth parents, victim to human trafficking and forced labor, enslaved to Ghana's fishing industry.
Emmanuel, what's the stamped memory that you have of those early days in Ghana?
It was a pretty dark memory and stamped memory of what it was like. Just a wooden canoe with holes. And, my job as a 3-year-old was to scoop the water out of the boats to keep it afloat, taking water, throwing it over the side because the holes were, so big.
Not a place to sit?
No.
On your knees?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember waking up super early mornings and being out there all day.
A world away in Grove, Stan and Audrey Crawford are both dentists, and in 2010, raising their 5 growing kids.
Audrey had always had it in her heart from the Lord that there was to be another child, even though we were already a pretty big family. One day I was at the dental office and I had a patient, and she knew another lady. They had been rescuing kids in Ghana, West Africa.
And so then that's what opened the door. And then through asking our friend Pam Cope, who had Touch of Life Ministry, who was part of the rescue of Emmanuel, for us to be chosen was amazing because she just said, look at this video and take a trip with me to Ghana.
My name is Iman. I'm 5 years old.
Before we did anything, we made sure with all of the siblings that they were going to be okay with it, that it wasn't going to feel like that it took away from their lives or from their attention. We got their blessing, and they've loved him ever since.
After 6 trips to Ghana and 9 months of paperwork, the adoption was ready.
Take us to that date. Your mom and dad come in, and you're introduced to them.
I kind of just knew something better is coming. It was an immediate connection. It wasn't something that was forced, and you could really feel that the Holy Spirit had made that connection possible, and it was meant to be. And I just always thought it was funny that, God would put me in a town with a lake. The very thing that threw my life into a spiral at the beginning would be the very thing that I began to appreciate.
Where does it make you go in thinking a creator goes ahead of us?
I think Emmanuel believed and came in agreement with God as a little child. And we are told the story by the Ghanaian that rescued him. He would go around saying, I will wrestle with the white men. Say that in his native tongue. Now, where did he get that? Because he had not seen a white man. It just flowed with his brothers because they've wrestled plenty on the living room floor. And definitely out on the football field with his teammates. He has wrestled with the white man for sure. In his formative years, he had to protect himself. So he saw everything. He can see the whole field from a hover view. He sees and he knows how to protect himself to get to the end zone.
Stan, what is football brought uniquely to Emmanuel?
Well, it's brought him the opportunity to trust other men, meaning coaches, to listen to them, because he grew up without any father figure, with other men treating him harshly.
There was a lot of cussing and, yelling, but I felt a sense of peace, which is crazy for somebody that's been through something like that at a young age to feel. But I never felt like I trust other human beings.
Where did you find that peace?
The times that I feel the most peace is when I'm just talking to God. I just started feeling this unnecessary anger or frustration. I just heard a voice say, you gotta let it go. I sat there and cried and, said, I forgive you, Mom. I forgive you, Dad. I forgive the people that hurt me when I was younger. I grew so much spiritually, just letting go of the baggage and getting into the Word. Just being able to have that moment at a young age has completely changed my outlook.
Emmanuel, what does that name mean to you?
Even from a young age, it was very evident to me that there was something bigger than myself. And so when I got here and I learned the meaning behind my name, God with us, that's been my whole entire life. That's the only way that, any of this could have happened, because God is with me.
How important was community in their support for your family?
Oh, community support was huge. You could tell the community was going to be behind him. There was some fear in me because we're almost an all-white community in Grove, Oklahoma. And I think of my dad, who was always a little bit prejudiced. He changed. It changed him. And One of his last times to talk to the family before he passed, he said how proud he was of Emmanuel and that we brought him.
To those that want to adopt an at-risk child, what's your encouragement to them?
Ask God. Ask those around you. We're going to have to take a step. And then when we said yes to Emmanuel, we didn't know how long the process or how much it would cost us. That step of faith of not knowing. I appeared bold, but I was always afraid. I didn't realize it, but I was fearful. I'm not afraid anymore. When you see God do something that magnificent and just the joy and satisfaction of seeing night turn to day. But if you asked me, I would say yes to anything.
I just see his love for us, his love for everyone. His love flows through each of us, and he's a great father. It's a great example for me to be a father.
Emmanuel's storied journey shifts to Fayetteville, Arkansas, soon to run as a Razorback, continuing a transformation that surges with redemption.
Don't be a victim to your circumstances, things that have happened to you, the things that have been, done wrong. You become a prisoner to your own mind. I would have hardened my heart to promises and redemption that God has brought me through.
If not a victim, Emmanuel, then what?
A conqueror. Look how big your God is.